Hello everyone and welcome to another RCT2 review. Today we are looking at Sozin's Temple by Lotte. This is a recent design winner on New Element, and it's a really nice one as far as I'm concerned. This one's been around for a little while. They've been working on it for, I feel like over a year, on and off, but I think the results are well worth seeing. So it's based around this big floorless coaster, which bears some resemblance to Hair Raiser at Ocean Park, Hong Kong, with the color scheme and the way that it kind of drops off the mountainside here. But that's about as far as the resemblance goes. This is an Asian themed um, little map, and it's got an entirely different layout from Hair Raiser, of which is a very good layout, I might add. So let's watch this train coming out of the station here. So lots of nice realistic details as the catwalks and everything, good support work. A lot of supports, sort of an older school B&M based on kind of the lift supports. You can kind of get away with a little less now. But I like this fake mountain facade that doesn't use the landscape blocks and doesn't use, except for the top there, and doesn't use the actual base game landscape. I think it's a nice variation and it's unique. So loop, dive loop into this great airtime hill here. Love this turnaround. That comes right up into the mid-course brakes through the tunnel here. And dropping out into a diagonal tunnel. That comes out the other side, do a quick roll, and then back into the brakes here. So kind of interesting in the fact that there's only the three inversions, the 1, 2, 3 there, because inside there's nothing there. Which I kind of like. It's unique and different, so I appreciate the uniqueness of the layout, even though it does follow a lot of the same typical B&M things that you might expect. But just the detailing on this whole facade, you've got these sort of Southeast Asian looking temples cut into the hillside, and the way that the coaster interacts through the landscape and just the mountainside on the whole. There's a lot of great scenic area here as far as coaster viewing goes. So let's back up a little bit. Coming into this front plaza, really nicely manicured. Love the circles around the plants here. Nice kind of created plaza here. You've got the little stage and just nicely set up. A couple of seating areas sort of scattered about. Couple of little flat rides here. So we've got the top spin and the double inverter over here. I don't necessarily mind them. I guess I've gotten to the point where I kind of like seeing the custom versions just because they're the shoestring versions, just because they're feels like they're a little bit more in scale. But I can't fault it. The originals are the originals, and I think they work well. There's a little hammer game with the nice colors throughout. Secondary entrance kind of hinting that this is part of a larger park. As we come around, I love this pathway right here and the attention to detail as far as the footer goes all the way down through it. I think too often we forget that when the footer sits on top of something, it also has to go down through at some point. So that's a good detail there. So kind of working on up, I like that there's this great viewing spot here, and the coaster is sort of sunk into the landscape on the side. But then this helix is about at eye level, so you have this pretty nice array of elevation viewing, and the pathway is going up with the coaster, so nothing feels too towering over anything in particular, which is kind of neat. It sits very well within the overall space. Here's a spiral slide, and over here we've got a double chairlift that goes up to the top. Kind of funny that you got to put in a fair bit of work to get to there. You're going to get up those couple of stairs, but not too bad. Another little entrance on this side. No handicap or ramp access, so you're maybe on your own as far as that goes. Going back to this building before we move along is very nice. I kind of like the three parts of this and how it works on a couple of different levels. So clearly there's some upper level here with the windows and this kind of open archways that you can go into on this side, but then also down below there's this little shop that's kind of nestled up underneath with all the kind of accoutrements out here on the pathway. I think that's really the best way to do shops, is to bring them out a little bit, so it's kind of obvious of what it is. I think in RCT it helps to be overly obvious as to what you're looking at. A little shop and stall here, and then let's turn the corner as we get up to the top here. So a couple things that are neat here. I like the little race patties kind of squeezed in here. Then our pathway up to the top also has this steep pathway for those that are, I guess, looking for a little more workout. I think that's pretty cool. Here is a kind of nice little boat ride. Pretty simple. You know, it's not a whole lot to it, but in real life, these aren't terribly, you know, involved either. This sort of wave thing is pretty cool here on the sign. The Cheon Falls. One of the comments that I would make is I would take these boats and spread them out a little bit more. 3 boats is fine on something like this, but I would just spread them out a little bit more so that maybe there's only one on the lift at one time. Just from a realistic standpoint, usually don't see them send that many at once. Really like this diagonal crossing here for this bit of theming. It almost feels like it could be part of the queue. It goes over and wraps all the way around. I don't know, if I was, it almost feels like it could be an adventure course or some kind of an upcharge. Like, I would be totally down for walking along that to get cool views of the coaster if I was in this park. But nicely done. Let me turn the corner again, point out the little burger sign here on the side. Very nice, very clever. I do like this pagoda quite a bit. You know, some pandas down here. Zen panda. Kind of fun. And this payoff for getting all the way to the top is this great restaurant and dining space that looks down across the whole thing. And then you also have the coaster that's right here, kind of in your face, just kind of at roof level, which is very cool. Using the terrain is a huge deal in my book, I think, and I really like to see that. And just how the coaster and the pathway uses the terrain really well, so it doesn't feel forced, per se. But it all feels very kind of natural, how everything loops around. So I think it was nicely done. This station building for both station buildings for the chair lifts seem a little bit monstrous, just when you compare them to the other things. You look at the station here, which is tall, but almost not quite as wide. I would expect this to be slightly larger than, you know, these. Now, granted, they have a pretty long station platform, which is typical of these. It's a nice structure. It just feels a little bit heavy when you look at the overall space here. But I do like the look of it, like the architecture. The second story shutters here with the overhangs on them is very nice, and the custom poles here I think also work well for what it is. So honestly, on the whole, this is a really great design. The yellow is in your face, and I know it's a little bit kind of much, considering there really isn't this bright yellow used pretty much anywhere else on the map, but I'm kind of okay with that because it really makes it stand out. I mean, I'm an American, of course, and I'm used to the American style of park making, where it's really a lot of bright in-your-face colors. That rarely do you see a coaster track that has kind of the earth tone type colors to blend in. So I like to see the ride stand out against the background. But I think this is really nice with the yellow and the red. And honestly, it plays on itself very well. There's a lot of color variation here, which is cool, considering that a lot of times Asian parks tend to struggle a little bit with that as far as theming goes. They can all kind of take the source of this black and white and red look, but there's a lot to look forward to here. I mean, there's the gold, there's the orange, there's purple here. You go up here, there's this peach, here's green, here's orange. We got this darker purple over here, different red. And that's good because I think they all work well together, since they all have a similar artistic and architectural style. You're using the Spanish tile roof pretty much throughout. Which is okay. I think because of the color change, it doesn't get too repetitive. I think you can do a couple of other things, but you don't have to. So I think it works all right. But honestly, on the whole, this is a really, really nice design, and it makes me interested in seeing more. Always nice to uh, get something done after a long time of working on it. So I think there's good congratulations here for getting the project done, and hope that there are more to come. So if you'd like to download this park, it'll be in the description below, and you can take a look and see for yourself. It's a great coaster, definitely worth checking out. So until next time, thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.